Okay, so we are back in the Morrowind yet again. We just finished off a quest for the Mages Guild, and we are gonna decide, now that we're in the ash wastes, whether or not to continue trying to go after a different quest. I believe it's also Mage Guild related. There's some books in this area that we can read. Could do some of the Queen Barenziahs. That is pretty tempting. Maybe we'll just do the first one. Alright, Biography of Queen Barenziah, Volume 1 by Stern Gamboge, Imperial Scribe. So this is the official story coming from an Imperial Scribe. Or rather, perhaps the Imperial Scribe. Late in the Second Era, a girl child, Barenziah, was born to the rulers of the Kingdom of Morrowind in what is now the Imperial Province of Morrowind. She was reared in all the luxury and security befitting a royal dark elven child until she reached 5 years of age. At that time, His Excellency Tiber Septim I, the first Emperor of Tamriel, demanded that the decadent rulers of Morrowind, yes, I'm sure, decadent, not like the Emperor, is not decadent at all, yield to him and institute imperial reforms. Trusting to their vaunted magic, the Dark Elves impudently refused until Tiber Septim's army was on the borders. Alright, so trusting to their vaunted magic, the Dark Elves believe that they just have such an edge in magic work that they're immune to imperial attack. Whether that's true or not, I guess remains to be seen. An armistice was hastily signed by the now eager Dunmer, but not before there were several battles, one of which laid waste to Mournhold, now called Alamexia. Little Princess Barenziah and her nurse were found among the wreckage. The Imperial General Symmachus, himself a Dark Elf. Oh, it's a Dark Elf Imperial General. Interesting. Suggested to Tiber Septim that the child might someday be valuable. Does she end up marrying him later? And she was therefore placed with a royal supporter who had recently retired from the Imperial Army. Sven Advesen had been granted the title of Count upon his retirement. His fiefdom, Darkmoor, was a small town in central Skyrim. Okay, so that's why she shows up in Skyrim. So the Nords of Skyrim are the ancient enemies of the Dark Elves. Being a Dark Elf in Skyrim is a very specific feeling. You know, it's not always the best thing to be put in the country of your historic enemy. Count Sven and his wife reared the princess as their own daughter, seeing to it that she was educated appropriately, and more importantly, that the imperial virtues of obedience, discretion, loyalty, and piety were instilled in the child. Yeah, I'm sure all the Imperials have that, especially discretion or loyalty. Imperials are quite the politickers themselves and are not above a fair amount of subterfuge. In short, she was made fit to take her place as a member of the new ruling class of Morrowind. Okay, so she's being trained up as kind of a political tool. The girl Barenziah grew in beauty, grace, and intelligence. She was sweet-tempered, a joy to her adoptive parents and their 5 young sons, who loved her as their elder sister. Other than her appearance, she differed from young girls of her class only in that she had a strong empathy for the woods and fields, and was wont to escape her household duties to wander there at times. Oh, nice. She's a naturalist. Barenziah was happy and content until her 16th year, when a wicked orphan stable boy, whom she had befriended out of pity, told her he had overheard a conspiracy between her guardian, Count Sven, and a Red Guard visitor to sell her as a concubine in Rihad, as no Nord or Breton would marry her on account of her black skin, and no Dark Elf would have her because of her foreign... Wow, this is interesting that they make sure that it's like, oh, they can only be friends out of pity because of the classism. It's a bit of editorializing there. We don't I'm sure that this author doesn't know exactly why Queen Barenziah befriended this stable boy. Thanks, Sniper Die. I appreciate it. Because of her foreign upbringing. Whatever shall I do, the poor girl said, weeping and trembling, for she had been brought up in innocence and trust, and it never occurred to her that her friend the stable boy would lie to her. The wicked boy, who is called Straw, said that she must run away if she valued her virtue, but that he would come with her as her protector. Sorrowfully, okay, so she's 16. Sorrowfully, Barenziah agreed to this plan, and that very night she disguised herself as a boy, and the pair escaped to the nearby city of Whiterun. Oh, you can play that in Skyrim. You can go there. After a few days there, they managed to get jobs as guards for a disreputable merchant caravan. The caravan was heading east by side roads in a mendacious attempt to elude the lawful tolls charged on the imperial highways. Yeah, the lawful tolls. Thus, the pair eluded pursuit until they reached the city of Riften, where they ceased their travels for a time. They felt safe in Riften, close as it was to the Morrowind border, so that dark elves were enough of a common sight. Okay, interesting. So you can go to Riften in Skyrim. So they keep on saying the wicked boy, that this boy is lying to her at 16. I mean, did he overhear something that was a threat to her? Are we to trust this author? Alright, Biography of Queen Barenziah Volume 2 by Stern Gamebridge. The first volume in the series told the story of Barenziah's origin, heiress to the throne of Mournhold until her father rebelled against His Excellency Tiber Septim I and brought ruin to the province of Morrowind. Thanks largely to the benevolence of the Emperor, the child Barenziah was not destroyed with her parents, but reared by Count Sven of Darkmoor, a loyal imperial trustee. She grew up into a beautiful and pious child, trustful of her guardian's care. This trust, however, was exploited by a wicked orphan stable boy at Count Sven's estate, who with lies and fabrications tricked her into fleeing Darkmoor with him when she turned 16. After many adventures on the road, they settled in Riften, a Skyrim city near the Morrowind border. The stable boy, Straw, was not altogether evil. He loved Barenziah in his own selfish fashion, and deception was the only way he could think of that would cement possession of her. She, of course, felt only friendship towards him, but he was hopeful that she would gradually change her mind. Oh, yep, the little 16-year-old. He wanted to buy a small farm and settle down into a comfortable marriage, but at the time his earnings were barely enough to feed and shelter them. After only a short time in Riften, Straw fell in with a bold, villainous Khajiit thief named Theris, who proposed that they rob the Imperial Commandant's house in the central part of the city. Theris said that he had a client, a traitor out to the Empire, who would pay well for any information they could gather there. Barenziah happened to overhear this plan and was appalled. She stole away from their rooms and walked the streets of Riften in desperation, torn between her loyalty to the Empire and her love for her friends. Huh. A lot of editorializing here about how loyal she is to the Empire. You know, the person who killed her father and then sold her off to slavery, and that she overheard might be sold off as a concubine to the Bretons, or wait, Redguards, yeah, in High Rock. Oh wait, no, not High Rock. Where is the Breton or the Redguard hometown? Okay, and her love for her friends. In the end, loyalty to the Empire prevailed over personal friendship, and she approached the Commandant's house, revealed her true identity, and warned him of her friend's plan. The Commandant listened to her tale, praised her courage, and assured her that no harm would come to her. He was none other than General Symmachus, who had been scouring the countryside in search of her since her disappearance. Wait, what? General Symmachus is the house of the Commandant? The Imperial Commandant's house? Interesting. It's kind of convenient. Might be a plot hole that this scribe is weaving for us in this particular tale. And had just arrived in Riften, hot in pursuit. Okay, I guess he's at the Commandant's house, maybe by way of visiting. That's what Imperial generals do, is they visit the Commandant's house. He took her into his custody and informed her that far from being sent away to be sold, she was to be reinstated as the Queen of Mournhold as soon as she turned 18. Until that time, she was to live within the Septim family in the newly built Imperial City, where she would learn something of government and be presented at the Imperial Court. At the Imperial City, Barenziah befriended the Emperor Tiber Septim during the middle years of his reign. Tiber's children, particularly the eldest son and heir Plagius, came to love her as a sister. The ballads of the day praised her beauty, chastity, wit, and learning. Chastity, I'm sure. On her 18th birthday, the entire Imperial City turned out to watch her farewell procession preliminary to her return to her native land. Sorrowful as they were at her departure, all knew that she was ready for her glorious destiny as sovereign of the Kingdom of Mournhold. Okay, so this is a pretty, sanitized version of this story. There's another book series called The Real Barenziah, or Barenziah the Wolf Queen, which is way more direct. The official biography from the official scribe is pretty clearly cleaned up. It'll be interesting to compare them. So let's just finish it off. Biography of Queen Barenziah, Volume 3 by Stern Gambridge, Imperial Scribe. In the second volume of the series, it was told how Barenziah was kindly welcomed to the newly constructed Imperial City by the Emperor Tiber Septim and his family, who treated her like a long-lost daughter during her almost one-year stay. After several happy months there learning her duties as vassal queen under the Empire, the Imperial General Symmachus escorted her to Mournhold, where she took up her duties as queen of her people under his wise guidance. Gradually they came to love one another and were married and crowned in a splendid ceremony at which the Emperor himself officiated. I wonder if that's her idea. I don't get the sense that it is. Symmachus, literally has known her since she was 5, and now she's 18. Okay. Yeah, I think we have read this book before, but let's just read it again really fast. After several hundred years of marriage, a son, Heliseth, was born to the royal couple amid celebration and joyous prayer. Although it was not publicly known at the time, it was shortly before this blessed event that the Staff of Chaos had been stolen from its hiding place deep in the Mournhold mines by a clever, enigmatic bard known only as the Nightingale. I think you can be the Nightingale in Oblivion and Skyrim, potentially. You can, through the last part of the Thieves Guild quest. I know you can in Skyrim, I'm pretty sure. 8 years after Heliseth's birth, Barenziah bore a daughter, Morriga, named after Symmachus' mother, and the royal couple's joy seemed complete. Alas, shortly after that, relations with the Empire mysteriously deteriorated, leading to a much civil unrest in Mournhold. After fruitless investigations and attempts at reconciliation, in despair, Barenziah took her young children and traveled to the Imperial City herself to seek the ear of the Emperor Uriel Septim VII. Symmachus remained in Mournhold to deal with the grumbling peasants and annoyed nobility and do what he could to stave off an impending insurrection. Because Morrowind should be free from imperial rule. But the Imperial Scribe is never going to say that. During her audience with the Emperor, Barenziah, through her magical arts, came to realize to her horror and dismay that the so-called Emperor was an impostor, none other than the bard Nightingale, who had stolen the Staff of Chaos. Exercising great self-control, she concealed this realization from him. That evening, news came that Symmachus had fallen in battle with the revolting peasants of Mournhold, and that the kingdom had been taken over by the rebels. Barenziah, at this point, did not know where to seek help or from whom. I wonder if Barenziah set that up. She took her and her son to a safe place, and then there was a rebellion right after she left. And now she's saying that the Emperor is not real. I mean, this could be the plot of Daggerfall, so I haven't played the earlier games, so we'll see. The gods that fateful night were evidently looking out for her as if in redress for her loss. King Adaware of High Rock, an old friend of Uriel's septum and Symmachus, came by on a social call. He comforted her, pledged his friendship, and furthermore confirmed her suspicion that the Emperor was indeed a fraud and none other than Rhaegar Tharn, the Imperial Battle Mage, and one of the Nightingale's many alter egos. Okay, so this is putting the Nightingale as a bad person who has an alter ego of Rhaegar Tharn, which is the Imperial Battle Mage. So he's a shapeshifter, or he has multiple identities? Tharn had supposedly retired into seclusion from public work and installed his assistant, Rhea Silmaine, in his stead. The hapless assistant was later put to death under mysterious circumstances. Supposedly a plot implicating her had been uncovered, and she had been summarily executed. However, her ghost had appeared to Adaware in a dream and revealed to him that the true Emperor had been kidnapped by Tharn and imprisoned in an alternate dimension. Tharn had then used the Staff of Chaos to kill her when she attempted to warn the Elder Council of his nefarious plot. Wow. Okay. Together, Adaware and Barenziah plotted to gain the false Emperor's confidence. Meanwhile, another friend of Rhea's, known only as the Champion, so this is the main player character. That's why I think that this is from one of the earlier games, who apparently possessed great, albeit then untapped potential, was incarcerated at the Imperial dungeons. Yep, main character stuff. However, she had access to his dreams, and she told him to bide his time until she could devise a plan that would effect his escape. Then he could begin on his mission to unmask the imposter. Barenziah continued to charm and eventually befriend the Erstas Emperor by contriving to read his secret diary. She learned that he had broken the Staff of Chaos into 8 pieces and hidden them in far-flung locations scattered across Tamriel. She managed to obtain a copy of the key to Rhea's friend's cell and bribed a guard to leave it there, as if by accident. Their champion, whose name was unknown even to Barenziah and Adaware, made his escape through a shift gate Rhea had opened in an obscure corner of the Imperial dungeons using her already failing powers. The champion was free at last and almost immediately went to work. It took Barenziah several more months to learn the hiding places of all 8 staff pieces through snatches of overheard conversation and rare glances at Tharn's diary. Once she had the vital information, however, she communicated to Rhea forthwith, who in turn passed it on to the champion. She and Adaware lost no time. They fled to Wayrest, his ancestral kingdom in the province of High Rock, where they managed to fend off the sporadic efforts of Tharn's henchmen to haul them back to the Imperial City, or at the very least obtain revenge. Tharn, whatever else might be said of him, was no one's fool, save perhaps Barenziah's, and he concentrated most of his efforts toward tracking down and destroying the champion. As all now know, the courageous, indefatigable, and forever nameless champion was successful in reuniting the 8 sundered pieces of the Staff of Chaos. With it, he destroyed Tharn and rescued the true Emperor, Uriel's Septim VII. Following what has come to be known as the Restoration, a grand state memorial service was held for Symmachus at the Imperial City, befitting the man who had served the Septim dynasty for so long and so well. Barenziah and good King Adaware had come to care deeply for one another during their trials and adventures, and were married in the same year shortly after their flight from the Imperial City. Yeah, Queen Barenziah, I'm sure. Her 2 children from her previous marriage with Symmachus remained with her, and a regent was appointed to rule Mournhold in her absence. Up to the present time, Queen Barenziah has been in Wayrest with Prince Heliseth and Princess Morgoth. She plans to return to Mournhold after Adaware's death. Since he was already elderly when they wed, she knows that event, alas, could not be far off as the elves reckon time. Until then, she shares in the government of the Kingdom of Wayrest with her husband, and seems glad and content with her family, or with her finally quiet and happily unremarkable life. Yeah, okay. So this is written before she goes back. Queen Barenziah is apparently alive at the time that this is written. I wonder who prompted this scribe to write this biography right now. I wish I had a date. But clearly, it's been a while. All right. Well, that is the official biography of Barenziah, Volume 1, 2, and 3. So this person now joined the Mages Guild, which completes our quest. We have only to go back to the Mages Guild to confirm that quest, or we could stay out a little bit longer in the wastes and try to complete one of the other quests. I'm an archer. I'm the kind of fighter who hates getting hurt, so I ambush with my marksman weapons from a distance, then run like crazy when I can and fight with long blades or spears when I must. I prefer spears because they're longer, and I keep farther away from things trying to hurt me. If that sounds cowardly to you, you better stick with tin suits and fat axes. Nice.
And how are you? Can I help you? How does the day greet you, friend?
Well, let's see if there's... Okay, let's check the journal. And the sound of a cliff racer immediately greets us as we go out. Alright. A guild member in Punabi. Okay, so the old Dunmer stronghold of Marandas, just south of the lake Punabi, is on the trail that leads northeast from that lake. Right, so that's Marandas. This is northeast of this lake here. That's where we need to find Punabi. But first, we should probably protect ourselves. What is the, Okay, F. It's been forever since I, played this game, so... Northeast. Just picking up some fire ferns here. Guess it would be prudent to have our spear out at all times. God, there's so many cliff racers. Yeah, this Mages Guild quest is pretty rough. Wow, Cavern Door to Punabi. Okay, so this is it, apparently. Glad we went south first. Okay, so the actual quest is paying up guild dues in 3 months. Rainey asked me to find Monway and collect the dues from her to get to Punabi. Okay. So we did find it. Let's see if our old persuasion skills can do the trick here. It seems like her. Got some Nice luminous Russa. Let's see what she's doing down here. There's a clan fear. Oh god. Hi. I'm fine, thank you. What can I do for you? Maybe we should get her to like us as much as possible first. Maybe a charm person spell wouldn't go amiss here. Charm Mortal. And Charming Touch. Illusion is personality, and that's what we need to level up.
What do you want of me, Outlander?
100%. I love it. Will you leave me alone if I give you the 2,000 septums? I cannot leave my research unattended. Yes. Here, take the gold and leave me to my work. I would advise that you leave here now. We are engaged in very serious research here, and if you disturb my colleagues, they may not be very understanding. Okay. Kinda suspicious, but I don't really want to ask questions. That was how we solve problems, is with spells. We have 2 different applications of charm. Okay, here comes the clan fear. Clan fear runt. And has a Daedra heart. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I will take your word for it. That seems entirely appropriate. Well, all right. That should be it. Now we just have to get back to Balmora by going west and maybe explore this little area here. Put some more things on our map. Maybe fight some more goddamn cliff racers. Come on. There we go. Okay. Cliff racers it is. Just not let our stamina get low. And hopefully we'll make it back in one piece. Got a Daedra shrine over there. I'm not sure if that's already on our map or gonna have to put it on our map. Oh, thank you, Cato Conroy, for the follow. Appreciate it. Oh, it's a rat. Okay. Blighted rat. God, I hope we don't get blighted. Actually, we should check. Yeah. We still have all the temple magic that we got, which has been helping out a lot from Ghost Gate. I mean, being part of the temple does have its benefits. Really need a spear skill to be up higher than this. So many diseased animals. And this one to start taking its time coming down to earth. We do need to level up willpower, so we need restoration. Got a nice, come on. Come down here. I think destruction is willpower, also. Mount Ashinabi, Markand, Molagmar, Vivek, Pelagrad, Balmora. Crossroads of the world, really? Thank God, just a normal cliff racer, but no cliff racer tails. Okay, so we have been here, and we do have this shrine. That's good. So got this scarab. Oh, poison. A shulk, greenback. Nice scuttle here, and shulk resin. Fortify health. Alright, let's get a heal on. And we might also try to rest. Get our magicka back. Earth heal. Nice. Oh. What is the button for resting? I forget. T, apparently. Maybe T for tent. Enemies being nearby, not letting us. Back to Pelagrad Balmora, Malikmar, Canran Astronavi. So multiple different signs there. Well, that's the ash waste for you. You can sneak up on this rat here. Rat's got rat meat. Still can't rest. Okay, there we go. Let's do until healed. Nice. Alright, back to full stats. Very important for dealing with the ash wastes here. Doing brief sprinting periods. Open MW. No, this is actually Morrowind Reborn, Kato Conroy. I don't have open MW. My list of mods, I think it's just the Morrowind unofficial patch. Something to make the text more legible. And Morrowind Rebirth, I think, is the mod that I have. One big super mod. Oh. Whenever the music changes, you gotta look around for... all of the cliff racers that want to kill you. We could try some destruction magic. Let's see. Maybe shock? Spark? Destruction is willpower, right? There we go. I mean, we are supposed to be going full mage. Is that the one that adds mainland Morrowind, or am I thinking of Tamriel Rebuilt? I think that's Tamriel Rebuilt. I don't know if this one has the mainland Morrowind in it. I was trying to go for like as close to a vanilla gameplay that still has, you know, not the crashes and the bugs. Wow. Is my mana going down from this? Spark is at 729. Oh, because we rested, we probably have lost the temple blessings that we used to have, which is why our magicka is a little bit damaged now. Okay. Yeah. One of the good things about the spear is it has the longest range in the game, and so you can stop things from getting to you to even try to damage you in the first place. I see something over there. Yeah, we've been here before, Saren's ancestral tomb. This is the way we came, I'm pretty sure. Go kill this rat. Man, the music sure is unsettling for this region. Got some Dwemer runes out there. I'm not even sure what that is. Bull Niche, maybe? Oh, and it's Blight. It's a Blight Storm. Okay, Pelgrad, Vivek, Balmora. Okay, so Balmora is this one. We're going to have to be going into the wind, into the Blight Wind here. But I think we have a Cure Blight spell. Yeah, Vivek's Tears that we got from hanging out with the Mages Guild, or doing the temple quests, the temple pilgrimages, which was really useful. Diseased rat. Good God, so much disease in the ash wastes here. Alright. Nissimi. This seems like a Daedra place. Well, I don't feel super happy about going to enter that area. I'd much rather get back to the Mages Guild and turn in my quests. Maybe cash out. Oh. Yeah, Spear skill finally at 50. Thank God. Alright, so Endurance is at 5. You can probably get that up a little bit more. And then we can start rounding out the Willpower as the final level up. Although, we could also do Personality as our level up because of Illusion. Personality, I'd rather get through some of the non-major skills that we have, like Mercantile or Speechcraft. And then for the skills that are actually leveling up our character, I'd rather reserve that for the magic skills. Of course, that philosophy will mean that our illusion remains fairly low. Let's get back some of our fatigue here. Ash Scrib. More hardy than the regular Scribs. Ash Scribs are not to be messed with. They could paralyze you. It's a mechanic that you just don't see that much in modern games because it means that the player can't do anything, which is not that fun of a mechanic. And so they took it out in lots of ways. All right, and this is Arkanthand, which we remember from one of our first quests in one of our first one of the first things we ever did. I wonder if we have any loot that we stashed or saved. Okay, hi. No, it doesn't look like it. We probably cleared out everything. Let's check some of our old friends Steel Keg and Corpse. See if he has anything for us. Does not look like he does. Okay, well, it's been fun. Thank you, Dormer Runes. Always a pleasure. Let's go ahead and throw a save here. Let's load. Save. We are carrying 2,000 gold, right? Yeah. From the Mages Guild. And as a House Tilvani mage, the question immediately becomes, should we just steal it? Should we just keep the gold and not go back and use it to increase our disposition with the Mages Guild? And that's the thing is, I don't know, I want to complete House Tilvani quests first. In order to get those, we need to go back to the East Coast. Okay, so Balmora is directly to our east. There's Shulk there. I believe this was a wizard bandit that tried to kill us. I was camping out here before. Yeah, bedroll that's sunken into the ground. Oh, we may have picked all these stone flowers before. Kirschweed still has something. So this level up is not an intelligence level up, so we probably will be selling these ingredients here. All right. Yeah, I remember this. This is part of Balmora. One of the ways to get into Balmora. Wow, that scrib just exploded. Oh, this is a dead person. Hi. Enreal or Morin? Well, it's got common pants, a note from Enreal. Tiskaya Suguma pipe. Okay. Well, I guess that'd be worth reading. A note on a dead body. Tisaya, here's your stuff. Sorry I couldn't stay and chat with you, but it's not always a good idea for me to hang around, you know? Enreal's dead. Here's your stuff. So May is doing a drug deal that went south, and we cannot remove this corpse. Okay. I mean, if he had stuff, it's not on him anymore. He has a skooma pipe, but it's not a lot of good without skooma, if you know what I mean. Anyone who's been to college probably can tell you that. Oh, maybe I shouldn't put away my spear just yet. See, this thing is pretty interesting. I wonder if we can get in there. Maybe if my acrobatics was higher. Oh, okay. Wow, that might... Alright, you know what? We're gonna fix this the mage way, which is levitate. Thank you. Levitating, yes. Can we get in here? I guess we can't. It's not an openable door. Okay. Well, now I'm levitating for 30 more seconds. Might as well enjoy it while it lasts. You know, it's kind of a slow levitate. It's only 10 points of levitate, but at least it's something on an amulet. I must have picked this clean last time I was here. Okay. Fair enough. Let's do some heal first. Let's get our at least our health maxed out. That's the least we can do. Gosh, we have so many spells. I still have not found a way to organize these. Sanctuary might be nice to remember whenever we get into a sticky situation. And it doesn't look like we're sick at all. Okay. Nice. Alright, 1 second. Just gonna get some water. And then we will turn in the quests. First order of business, I suppose, is go straight to the Mages Guild. Turn in all of the stuff that we're doing, including the 2,000 gold, and clear out our quest log. I don't really want to take more quests from the Mages Guild. Oh god, there she is. Hi! Hello. Have you convinced Lyra to join us? Do you have Manwë's guild dues? So she gives these both to you at the same time. They are kind of together. Good work, Tiberi. Here, he'll give us some info on the Telvanni. I suppose I should find something to give you for your efforts. She doesn't even have a reward ready. She is like the worst guild leader. And so much of players play Morrowind through Balmora as their first city. And so their first experience with the Mages Guild leadership is this lady. Here, take these spare potions. And did you get Manwë's guild dues? I did. At least 4 magica potions. That's nice. Do you have the 2,000 symptoms that Manwë owes? Yes. Good work, Tiberi. You are the first evoker to get Manwë to pay her dues. I knew I could rely on you. So she sent other people, other evokers, to get this to happen before, and it didn't work. Your journal has been updated. 1,000 gold has been removed from your inventory. Oh, maybe she gives you 1,000? Nice. Later, perhaps, when you're higher rank, but not now. All right, well, let's advance. In order to advance to Conjurer, you must pay your guild dues of 200 septims. Will you pay these dues now? Sure. Excellent, Tiberi. Now that these formalities are out of their way, I can grant you the rank of Conjurer. Okay. Not terrible. Now can we get spells? Oh, we can. Burden. Big burdens here. A nice feather. Feather wild. Tinier's Hop Toad. Jump 10 points. That's kind of fun. Barrier 5th. Barrier 6th. Nice. And Great Chameleon. That's kind of tempting. As well as invisibility. And a strong silence. These all seem amazing. And they seem well worth the money. But I think I'll save my money to buy some Telvanni stuff. There was some conjuration spells that were very high level with the Telvanni that I really wanted. Training, mysticism, alteration, illusion. I was going to get enchantment training. Dealt with Lyra to my satisfaction. I'll let you know if anyone else hasn't paid their dues. I don't want to click on duties for her. You meet our requirements to be, but you've not yet completed the duties expected of a magician. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much for clearing my quest journal. I had a disturbing dream. I can only recall one part. A tall figure with a golden mask led me among the dead as though a wedding celebration. I heard many voices, but no lips moved. I strained to breathe, but my chest didn't move. The tall figure spoke with each figure as he passed among them, laughing and joking as if they were alive, but they made no reply. I tried to cry out, but without breath my tongue fluttered in vain. I spoke with one who called himself a sleeper. He called me by name and said, "You cannot deny your lord Dageth-ur. The sixth house is risen, and Dageth is its glory." He made no sense at all. I think he must have been mad. Alright, creepy. Patchwork airship. This is DLC, I think. I met Louis Pachamp outside Aldrune Mages Guild. Apparently he used magicka and some patched-together Dwemer technology to make his own airship, and then commissioned a crew to fly it north to the frozen isle of Solsem in search of a powerful magic item. The airship hasn't returned, and Beauchamp is getting worried. He wants me to hire me to discover what happened to the airship and its crew and recover the amulet of infectious charm. He agreed to help Louis Beauchamp discover what happened to this airship and recover the amulet. The crew has defied a Solsem in search of a barrow called the Eye of a Wolf. Barrow located at the eye of a wolf-shaped formation called Hrothmund's Bane, which is only visible from the air. In order to gain entrance to the barrow, one must utter the name of the wolf that killed Hrothmund. Onjage. Onjage. I don't know. If the wrong name is spoken, the crypt will be sealed forever. Okay, don't mess it up. Mysterious killings in Vivec. 2 Ordinators and 5 Outlanders have been killed in Vivec. Their throats slit. The rumor is that the Office of the Watch and the Hall of Justice is very concerned and is looking for special help. Oh, wow. Alright. Asvantotelis gave me a letter of introduction to Salinas Casadis, the head of the expedition at Nuclenflift. Okay. You could go do that. There's also House Telvanni stuff. This is just a normal bounty. Tariana Dalen. Is that the Archmage Tariana? Okay. We could go to Vivec. All right, I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you guys for dropping by. I'm probably going to do some inventory management and sell some things, and I won't bore you with what that is. I will see you guys later at the next episode.